I'm going to bypass all the intros and just jump straight in. I want to be clear when I say opportunist, I'm referring to something more malevolent, okay? Because we're all in some way opportunists, are we not? We all are bartering, looking for collaborations, looking for opportunities. So, in that sense of the word, we are all maybe a little opportunistic, but that's in a more healthier range. So, when I'm referencing, have you dealt with an opportunist? I'm talking about someone who might display um, characteristic traits of someone who shape shifts based on whatever their agenda is. The title says something like the reason why it's wrong, and then it's got dot 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 well dot dot dot. So something that came to mind, and this is food for thought, please. Viewer discretion is advised. All that I do here, I don't claim to be the all knowing of all things since everything we all ever needed to know. I just share my life, share my learnings, my growings, my ups and my downs, my ins and outs, my failures, not every single thing, but I'm just, I'm out here living my life and, sharing my experience. And if it's not for you, if it doesn't jive with you, I promise you all out there, that's okay. I've accepted this about stuff that I don't jive with. Okay? Because we are different. We are all dealing with different systems and programs and scripts and variables. And so that's a part of why it's okay for someone like me. Why you don't have to become my arch enemy. Why I don't need to undermine you necessarily if you haven't done something wrong to me, per se. Um, because that's what this is. I like to keep it simple in the sense of be a good human. And if we can keep that baseline and share that universal baseline, a lot of things would be a lot different as we see it in this world. Okay. Um, so the malevolent or the more hidden dishonory type of opportunistic behavior. Okay. I have to say it real carefully. For an example, let's say you're someone who is now spiritual. I'm just going to use this as example, but I promise that this applies to you can apply such principle to basically any and everything. But I'm going to choose, and I'm choosing something that I could personally relate to. So let's say you're spiritual or esoteric or none of it. Or, I love doing that because it's like, yeah, just let's just say, but for fun, let's say you're spiritual. Let's say you're someone who went on a deconstruction. You learned something about traditional Western religion, or you experienced something to do with man made religion, and you went on a deconstruction, and now you hold a different view. But let's say at the same time, it's not that you're going around projecting, browbeating, or waving your judgy finger, or you see what I'm saying? It's just you're in your authenticity, you're speaking it, you're living it out loud and open, and it's okay. But let's say you go through a hardship, a loss, an abuse, a betrayal, injustice, just something horrific, and that is life altering and shattering. It's wrong when you have individuals that will then step in and utilize that as an opportunity, right? They'll step in because you're in a low place. They'll step in usually because they perceive themselves in a higher place. They'll step in again because your financials, your whatever, and they'll use that as the opportunity to then convince you about how the reason why your life is that way is you're not what they are, or use it as an opportunity, blah, blah, blah. Now, here's where we're going. As I said when I first started the video, it's wrong anyway. It's wrong, it's presumptuous, it's based on ignorance, it's based on perception, it's a lot of things. It's insensitive, it's lacking humanity, empathy, all of those things. In some cases, depending on how it plays out, it's against the law. Okay? Depending on how far that goes. But these are also the same individuals. Now, follow me, because this is going to help you to draw the bridge and the connection of what I'm trying to convey. These will be the same individuals that would stand before some famous people. They will travel the world. They will deal with famous people who aren't, you know, I'm not talking about the famous people who maybe are just like them, but famous people who are really not living a morally integral life. Famous folks who maybe are not professing of any sort of the same kind of a religion as them per se. They kind of do what they want to do, say what they want to say, live how they love it, will play with like what they play. Some of the Adams family go. They do what they want to do, sing what they want to sing, dance what they want to dance, eat what they want to eat. The Adams family. Anyways, they will be they will talk to these people, they will smile at these people, they will not be trying to convince them that they are in disobedience and they need to, um, get their lives together. They won't be saying any of that to them. In fact, they may even be singing these people's praises. They may even be trying to get deals with these people, go to events with these people. But why? Is that same conviction and that same, I'm going to say something because what good is it if a man gains the whole world and loses his own soul? This is some scriptural references that are often used, okay, when they talk to you or I. But this is not something that they're going to talk about if they're talking to a billionaire. Even if they're thinking it, I promise you they're not going to say it. And I promise you that they are, you know, going to be flattering these people and finding a way that they can work together and collaborate and, get some good deals going. Now, am I saying that it's wrong for such a person to make deals with the others? That's not really the message. I'm saying that where is all of that other energy at when it's a billionaire, a millionaire, someone with money, someone who can create some kind of a lucrative, you know, opportunity? Because when something is just based on what it appears to be based on, it's not going to matter. It's not going to be something that's just utilized when somebody's in hardship, and now that's going to be our soapbox. When someone is beneath us, when someone, or at least we perceive it as such, when someone is beneath us, when someone That's not going to be the only time we're talking that talk. We're going to talk that same talk. We're going to imply the same parables, the same stories. We're going to insert the same conversations. Even if it's nice, we're just going to still say the same, hey, you know, have you thought about, your walk with the Lord? Or, I'm just saying, I'm using all these as an example. And that's a part of why it's wrong, in my humble opinion. Because I've seen this kind of stuff. I've witnessed this type of stuff. And I've also been on the receiving end of this kind of stuff. These are the same people who possibly, when you're on the mountaintop, these are people that possibly troll you, talk about you behind your back, stop opportunities based on those things when other people inquire. And these would be the people who, you know what I'm saying? The people who will be your trolls in your social media, writing books of scriptures under a fake profile. Or one of, you see what I'm saying? All that type of vibe. But they wouldn't do this to their famous artist. They're not doing all of that. Let's say they have a famous singer, a famous actor, actress, a famous dancer, a famous, sportsman, sportswoman, even somebody famous in politics. I mean, I can go there if these people aren't sharing the same. I'm not talking about the ones that they share the same view. Okay. I promise you, they're not doing any of those things. They're going out of their way to collab with these folks because they want a benefit. They want a benefit of sorts, even if the benefit is simply connection to the person, a network. Yeah. This is a part of how we start to learn that folks aren't what they be trying to say they be on sometimes. None of us are perfect. None of us are doing all this stuff. Either way, this goes, together 100% perfectly. But we're talking about like a state of being and a standard way of operating, if that makes sense. For those of you out there who are curious and you want to know, do I hate people that's of different philosophical, spiritual, or religious bents than me? The answer is 100% no. For those of you who are wondering, do I feel superior to them? Do I secretly want them to hurt and suffer and lose opportunities and be brutalized so they can learn a lesson about not being enlightened? The answer, once again, is a resounding no. Because I now know that that's not the answer. I understand. And I also understand that there's still people. There's still people. That's a person. No matter if I think they're in ignorance or not, it's a person. And if they haven't done something foul and grotesque for me to secretly inside wish they were lit on fire. There's my edge. Y'all just caught a piece of my edge. I do have one. Because I have an aversion to injustice. A bad one. I do. And so it's like, oh, image, set them on fire. They deserve to be set on fire. People, and please, viewer discretion is advised, blah, 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 blah. But that's got to be a disgusting person, not somebody that I just disagree with. That's somebody that's out here doing some sicko wacko shit to churn and, other stuff. And they sitting there smiling and eating chips and shit. Them and the motherfuckers, I'm like, they have some fuck. Why they woke? I mean, I cannot advocate. I'm laughing, you all, but please, viewer discretion. Okay, that's me being authentic. See, even a part of that is owning. See how this goes? Because a lot of us are out here pretending. But that is a part of me owning my essence. it's not to say when you're a grounded person, you don't necessarily execute every freaking feeling you have. That's the definition of a mental illness. That is what we start talking about as psychotic or sociopathic. That's when you get into all those things, because these are people who take it from feeling something to execution, okay, of some type of actions, or some type of interference with actions, whatever, or lack thereof, right? So anywho, that's what makes it wrong. Because I promise you, I got relatives right now. If they thought that they can get in good with certain celebrities right now, I'll tell you something. Tell you something. They tell you something. They tell you something. They're not going to be talking about Bible, Jesus, nothing. I'll tell you something right now. If they thought that they can rub shoulders with somebody, no matter what, no they're a hellion, know that they got it, whatever the case may be, but if they famous, if they got clout, if they got, resources, if they got things, they not gonna be saying nothing. They gonna be licking bootstraps and talking about how pretty they are and how handsome they are, and gonna be talking about how cute, how cute their hair is, and they ain't finna be doing none of that other stuff. And that's, I'm just sharing this for whoever, Somebody may see this video someday and go, you know what, that's, hey, when you're in a safe space and you're not activated and you're not out there happening to perform your job, you're just sitting and being with yourself, and, might think of something like, okay, yeah. Why is that I need to look at that, because it shouldn't be no different. So what is my real motive and intention here? What is the truth? And earlier today, I heard a song when I was where me and my son are. I was just going downstairs to, I think I was trying to go get him some of the fountain, the water machine thing or something I was trying to get for him. And what was playing on the radio or somebody's system was Bobby Brown Is My Prerogative. And I started singing it, but what I thought about as I was walking back upstairs, what I thought about was the lyrics, because he was like, tell me why can I live my life without all of the things that people say. Right. I can do what I want to do. Me and you. Together. Everybody's talking all this stuff about me. Why won't they just let me live? I don't need permission to make my own decisions. Oh, that's my prerogative. It's my prerogative. Likewise, it is your prerogative in this universe. It is your prerogative. You should be able to explore how you want to think, feel, and believe about various things in this world. If you are not violating other people, if you're trying to really show up and be the best version of yourself as you can be, and you're honoring and you're a healthy, decent person, it is your prerogative. And some folks have a problem with you, but I promise you, they do not have a problem with money bags. They don't have a problem with people with money. deciding to be whatever they decide to be, if they feel like they can get them a contract or some kind of deal or some kind of resource or some kind of benefit, said entity, famous person, I guarantee it. The only folks they're trying to dictate and control are folks that they feel are beneath them, folks that they feel like are at their low, folks they feel like either they're jealous of and want to take from them what they have and try to put them in their place, folks that they're in secret competition with, folks that they're trying to humiliate and make a mockery out of. But I promise you, they're not doing that with famous people. And they're not even doing that with themselves, because again, most of these people, they have a mask. They're going around, saying all those things, but they don't be telling us all day everything. It's like a uniform for some folks. And because it's hidden, then that's, if it's hidden, it's not real. If it's hidden, then no one knows. But then it's that projection of how they then want to highlight the people that are trying to show up in their world authentically and say for shame, and wave like that judgy finger and try to make a mockery or an example out of them in their suffrage. These are the things I'm encouraging the world. It's okay. We all come with a set of nose blindness and b- blindness and things like that due to our conditioning and life just happening and being busy and conditioning. It's okay. But that's something to look at. Okay? That's something to look at. Anyway, a namaste.